Alrighty, guys. Let's see. Good morning. Good. Hope you guys have a great morning so far. Good morning, Dose. Tonight, guys, going to be doing more of the Rivals. We'll get to the doing here. Had some pretty good games yesterday. Yeah. Started capping my FPS again, and actually had a positive benefit this time, whereas before, it actually just made things worse. Made things a lot worse, which is why I haven't done it since basically, well, beta. Did it in the beta a little bit, and then did it a couple months ago when the game launched. Good. Good. See where things go here tonight, guys. If all goes as planned, maybe we'll do some comp. No promises, though. Uh-huh. Ah, yes. Lovely morning to you, sirs. Lovely. Let's see. Okay. Alright. Had some pretty decent matches yesterday. Why did we abandon that one? I think it was a steamroll. Yeah, probably a steamroll. Don't play blowouts, guys. Righty. Well, let's see what's going on here tonight, guys. As far as UFPs, UFOs goes, everything's kind of status quo. Not a whole lot going on right now. And it kind of feels like ever since they announced, Congress announced the Disclosure Task Force, I believe is what it's called now. I think they're still putting it together, the bits and pieces together. Been much else. Got to change my audio devices. I did change my net settings back because I thought maybe it didn't do anything successful, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not that holds true. Let's see. I'll start using Afterburner again too, so. There's that. All right. God! Stop pressuring me. I'm old. I'm worn out. Jeez. Long, hard day watching hentai, you know? And working. Alas, we are slipping into the early morning hours here. Actually, just the normal morning hours, guys, so that's not good. That means my my schedule is regressing even further. I don't even know how I fucking wasted like 4 hours tonight, where it even went. Yep, just blanked out or something. No idea. Now it's almost 7 a.m. The best tie? What other tie would there be? Chai tea? Yeah, there we go. Get some sound going here. FPS lock it is, guys, for the time being. Burp, 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 burp. My laptop has this weird issue that I'm not a fan of. Ever since I bought it, it has weird electrical gremlins in the trackpad. So sometimes when I touch it, apparently according to forums it's a grounding issue. The mouse just goes all over the fucking place. And then you have to reset it, the mouse, by turning it off and on. Absolutely hilarious. Hunter Call of the Wild, is that the 1800s game where you hunt monsters? That Monster Hunter World. No isn't the answer. Hunting simulator. Alright.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
My order is sharp. My mind is sharper.
Burp, burp. Burp, burp. Burp, burp. Burp, burp, burp. Ah, wait, are the patch notes today? Did they actually officially release them? Oh, maybe we should be doing that. I think they did after they got leaked.
I will not
Yeah, they did.
rest
We'll have to take a look at that at the end of
until I
this.
return to my world once
We'll be
more.
coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Oh, wait, is this actually the official website?
Powers like yours, I think, wow. I mean, how can I compare? Don't compare. You just spread your...
Official patch notes in English are now out. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at this at the end.
Starts in 5,
I mean, 30 seconds. Poor Hulk, I agree.
2, 1.
Hulk probably doesn't see a lot of action, though. It's a
The enemy has
You
arrived.
need to stop that vehicle in its
sizing thing.
One blade pierces minds. The other hearts. The beacon has
Oh! And headshot?
I'm back.
Oh, they got lightning.
Stop them!
Oh, yeah?
Better stop that vehicle!
I try to be. However, we have some issues with hit registration. But this is the first game of the night, so I'm probably just... takes a little bit. Oh, let me kill her. Thank you. What a nice guy.
What a difference.
You want to spin towards me?
Farewell. Now I might survive this.
Feel the wrath of the dragon!
I see. Oh, we're dead. Run away.
Out of sight.
Bye. He's looking for me.
Hurricane
I think I'm line of sighting. Now we're dead. Line of sight in our healer. More Keto. Keto diet's actually like cheating. If you're ever curious about that. Oh. I had a friend that did it. He literally turned into a bag of bones. I just lost all my HP instantly. I think it was a raccoon. He just put a bunch of bolts in my brain. Oh, yeah? Genetics are a funny thing. It's not always the case. Poor Hulk might not be blessed in other ways, unfortunately for him. You never know. Thought she's gonna heal me. Hate when they come from behind.
My hunt.
Apparently we killed a lot of stuff. It doesn't feel that way, though. Push up, lol. Wait, what? You mean you're supposed to apply pressure? The fundamentals of any pushing game? No way. No way.
Farewell.
Fuck off, she totally did. Oh, we got stuck. Call it risk apprehension, which is, I'd say very common in MOBAs. I don't think I've heard of anyone else talk about it, by the way. Very, very common in MOBA games, in which you have to apply pressure, but in doing so you risk dying, and people become risk apprehensive to it, and as such they don't actually properly weigh and balance what they're supposed to do, because it might kill them. So then they just don't do what they're supposed to because they think winning involves doing the least amount of deaths. Oh, alright. Risk apprehension.
I'm back.
You'll often see it in MOBAs where they just keep falling back and just giving up base assets. Which, you know, sometimes you do need to fall back, right? But usually it results in you dying anyways. Oftentimes results in dying, or you lose assets.
Mind over matter.
He's dead.
Farewell.
Right. We studied.
I've looked. Sayonara.
No. How the fuck did she not die, guys? She took half HP and she should have been dead.
My
Don't
hunt
know.
continues. Step aside.
Triage, not triage. Attrition. You always suffer attrition when you fall back. And then morale, which the kids call it. The kids don't call it that. Morale also matters a lot. The kids call it mental nowadays. They figured out what morale is, and they applied a term to it. Are we retreating?
This feels empty, yet somehow dangerous.
Funny how they just make up terms for old things.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
And so you
Swing at her! Alright. I guess I'll just kill her.
out of sight.
Excuse me, I need to reload.
No more demons to slay. Out of sight. Hitting harder than ever.
And they're dead. It's quick play, let them live. No mercy, guys. They do need a custom web browser, or custom browser, like Overwatch put in, but it took them, like, what, 5 years to put that in, this shit, fucking Overwatch? Something insane. So people can make their custom games and hangout lobbies and shit. Kids love that stuff. Kids being everyone that's younger than me. 34% meh. We lost to a storm, guys. Next game. Or in JP. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, you, sir. Uh, 99% of the world is younger than you. I mean, that'd be kind of horrible because I'm not that old, I guess. I don't think that's actually true.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
My order
Not yet,
is
at least.
sharp. My mind is sharper.
I'm a very spry old man. There we go. Alas, with years comes experience and wisdom. I've learned from my mistakes. Or something along those lines. 1 in 123? I mean, that'd be fucking fantastic if that's true. What do you know? Huh? Huh? Do you know me?
Everything in this place
You know
feels
nothing.
familiar, and yet so
Jane
strange.
Snow?
We'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
You are not as human as you look, are you?
Maybe. Just waiting for first contact so I can put my brain in a jar and live there.
Whether God
You know,
or otherwise,
Futurama.
respect is something to be earned, not
The battle
demanded.
starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Vacuum cleaner.
We have demons to slay. Waiting. That's better. Step aside. Sayonara.
Better stop that vehicle.
It's over.
I have... Oh. No, it's too much. Wait, there's a med kit back there. What? I walked right past it. Since when? I could have totally made that too. You know everything?
My time to shine.
Ah, part of the hive mind.
My light control mine. Step aside.
Stop them. Better stop that vehicle.
The enemy has arrived.
Double KO.
Sayonara.
Here's one here.
Healing magic. Block it.
There's still a chance to stop them.
Just right outside range of my butterflies.
Sayonara.
But
You're mine.
Stop them in their tracks.
hey guys, excuse me. One moment.
Wow, 4 in a row.
Vacuum runaway.
Difference. Farewell.
I think that's a teammate. Actually, no.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
You're mine.
No! He hit me in the air. I would actually say, net-wise, this feels worse. What the fuck? Okay, you just 120 snapped me in the middle of the air and mid-aired me. I expected to see something with a little more aim.
What a difference.
We are undefeated. Better stop that vehicle.
The moon totem has been restored. Yes, and I will.
Double kill. That's 3.
Yep.
Step aside.
Spider-Man with 4 guys and a bus stop. Sounds about accurate right there. Alright.
Reborn. Step aside.
The moon haunts you!
A lot of boops, guys.
Lovely. Step aside. Come back. Sayonara.
Dad, here, I'm coming back for you.
Lift your wings. Step aside.
Oh my god. Wait, there's a back kit here.
Human magic. Lovely.
Dude, there's all sorts of connecting halls. Alright.
Maximum pulse! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I expected him to be up top, but he wasn't.
Pulse charge, fire! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Reborn.
That's 3. They hit a checkpoint. Now might be
5,080s are dropping right now.
Out of sight.
help, friends.
This guy just fucking immune to my not the cloak, the
You're mine.
vacuum cleaner immune to my stealth?
Rage!
You deserve this shame.
Alright.
Oh, mutant kind!
This is an impossible position, by the way, because they literally spawn right there.
I have destroyed that troublesome ark.
I don't know why they're still right there, and
That's better. Farewell. You're mine. The enemy has arrived. Farewell. Step aside.
hey guys, got something for you guys over here. And I got a fucking defense vault. But oh, we're supposed to look at the patch notes. I have to do my streamer duty. Well, I also like looking at patch notes, but to share the joy of patch with you guys. Might surprise you, but I was one of the first streamers, or the first streamer to actually cover patch notes on stream. You go, that's not true. Everyone covers patch notes now, which is true. However, they didn't 13 years ago when I first started streaming. I was just more interested in playing games, and they didn't actually realize that patch notes are important because it literally changes how games are played. How's it goes, guys? I'm that old. I've been around that long. Where they need to increase the distance of the "it's about to cap" sound. It starts too late. Let's see. We did myrtleize basically everyone. Our accuracy is definitely lower than yesterday. And if I could restart my stream, I 100% would right now, but I can't. So, actually, I think I could. Well, first we'll just do something else here. Okay, we gotta look at the patch notes, guys. Let's see. Go. Huh? Alrighty. What do we got here, guys? We're excited. Maybe we'll get Charles here. 1 second. Where's Charles? Charles, please. Actually, I think Charles just works right now. First, it's in 2 days.
Dear rivals, we're excited to kick off Season 1.5 right away with some refinement to our superheroes and villains. As a reminder, players can look forward to comprehensive adjustments to team-up abilities beyond numerical tweaks starting in Season 2. Maintenance starts on February 21st at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and is estimated to last around 3 hours. During this time, the servers will be offline, and players will not be able to access the game. Server return times may vary based on progress. To provide more insight into the balance adjustments, check out
our analysis on changes, latest meta hero hot list data. This is the rationale as to what they're doing, as opposed to just the stat changes.
Steve will receive some enhanced survivability, his vibranium energy soar will feel smoother, and his ultimate ability will be more attainable, thanks to a reduced energy cost.
Marvel Rivals, America. Alright, let's see here. He'll be able to shield himself with Living Legend mid-leap. Holy fucking shit, guys. I don't know why it took him 2 months to do this, but it did. Like, this is one of my major concerns when I was playing him, which is, why can you jump and not use your shield? I have no fucking idea, because you have to jump all the fucking time to avoid dying. And also use your ground smash, but you can't. Vibranium energy saws projectile speed from 60 to 80 ms, with ricochets ramping up to 100 ms to a supercharged 150 ms. Energy saw, that's just his ricochet ability. I don't know why this would matter. I guess it allows you to hit multiple targets faster. This isn't really a damage buff. This is maybe more of a consistency buff to his actual ability, so it hits more targets more consistently. Captain America, in my personal opinion... Wait, does this actually just go to the wiki? No, it doesn't. You should actually just open this page here, and it doesn't. Which actually shows you all of his abilities. Or they could just hotlink to the abilities that are on the other page. Oh wait, this is a different website? Patch notes, dev talk, dev diaries, announcements. The patch notes on their balance post. Here. Website actually seems laid out better than their original or their normal website, guys. Let's see. My major gripe with Captain America is basically he doesn't do anything. A lot of tanks can stay alive, but he stays alive and just doesn't do anything while alive unless he's left alone with like a healer, and maybe he can eventually kill them. But otherwise, he doesn't really do much of anything. He just Captain Troll, as I call him, basically just runs around, doesn't do really anything. And it looks an awful lot like, you know, this is going to help with his survivability mainly because if you guys didn't know, his shield actually. Why is Stephen Hawking? He's British. Stephen Hawking's not British, is he? Why is he reading? Because British people say the news or read the news better than anyone else. And you just know that from the BBC. Haven't you kept up with the BBC? You keep up with the BGC. Why didn't you keep up with the BBC? I don't know. But anyways, Captain America, as I mentioned before, we've played him a decent bit. Captain Troll is basically just that. He just runs around and just kind of harasses people. He doesn't really do much of anything, and a backliner could actually do that better. Like Black Panther, Psylocke, basically anyone that dives can do it better than he does. And maybe even Mr. Fantastic. But unfortunately, he either needs a damage buff or he needs to basically be more durable, if that makes sense. And he didn't really have any. This is going to help a lot because there are cases where you jump in the air and people just brain you out of it, which is ridiculous. Energy Saw, this isn't really going to do much of anything. Freedom of Charge, so basically he got a buff to his ult by about 10%, reducing energy cost. Which is actually pretty good. His ult, if you actually follow him along, it's not really intuitive, but if you sit on his trail, which is what you're supposed to do, it might even need like slight rework to make it so it's more visible and or something that people are more easily can follow. But actually is a huge part of basically keeping him alive. He has a huge defensive ult, which is this thing. But then sometimes he just runs off into nowhere and just strands his whole team, so. Enhance Captain America's combat experience by separating Sentinel Strike from melee attacks. Captain America will be able to use melee attacks while his shield is thrown or during team-up ability Charge Aegis state to activate the first 2 hits of Sentinel Strike. So you can do other things while your shield is flying around, which is good because he's very much linked to his shield. First 2 hits, Sentinel Strike. Additionally, while airborne, using melee attacks will no longer trigger the Super Soldier Slam ability. Let's see. Well, airborne, using melee attacks will no longer trigger Super Soldier Slam. How do you... It must be a different key. They just changed the key that it uses now? Because normally mouse 1 would trigger your slam. So he might actually have... There looks like it's a retooling to his utility and quality of life in how that he functions while attacking, which is one of the big deals, or one of the big problems I had with Mr. Fantastic. I don't think Mr. Fantastic's even in here. So, might be a big deal. We'll have to wait and see. Retooling, basically, the combat chain is actually pretty important. Reduce Doctor Strange's survivability. He's a pretty strong hero in general. I guess they want to reduce how often he shows up. I don't think this is going to change anything, though. He's still going to be around. Probably the strongest tank in the game, still. Threat range of Flora Colossus. Increases Thorn Lash, wall placement range from 15 to 18 meters. Groot, if you didn't know, he actually does damage through his walls. So, being able to plop them, especially like in addition to them interrupting enemy teams and how they function with line of sight, they also do extra damage, and getting them into the right position is actually a huge deal. I didn't play Groot like at all. I played pretty much every other tank except for Groot. Magneto. Increases volley projectile damage from 35 to 40, which I believe is left click, or is this his right click icicle? What? This website sucks. Their main website sucks for heroes. Let's see. Actually, just click on them. There we go. Now it's Mag Cannon. The Iron Volley is just your left click. So more damage from just straight up left clicks. His right click basically is like snipe ability. Metallic Curtains, energy consumption from 50 to 65. Reduces maximum duration from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, so that's his shield. Is this his hold-up shield, or is it his bubble? Hold-up shield. So less tanky like Doctor Strange. The BBC is good, I agree. They're great at news. That's why we have AI imitation. They're also great at documentaries, too. Remove shared out cooldown after duration Awakening Rune ends. Projectile damage. I've legit had this basically one-tap me like a second after I leave it, by the way. Your time on nearby enemies. Four seconds. Well, the 4-stage lasts 0.8 seconds. Wait, I'm thinking Lightning Realm. That's this. This. Oh, this is his throne ability. Not. Throne. Oh, it is. This is his throne click. Move the shared cooldown time after duration of Awakening Rune ends. And what that is. There must be some crossover between another ability that allows him to basically dip into his other abilities faster after he uses his rune. Played a lot of him in the beta, but I haven't played him at all in retail. I don't know. I think this is a Thor main thing that I don't know. So quality of life change, whatever that is. Venom, adjust the knockback effect from frenzy to rival from vertical to inward, so you can keep track of the enemies better. Inward knockback angle is 75 degrees. Reduces energy cost to Feast of the Abyss from 28 to 25, so another 10% reduction to energy cost. This will basically keep people better aligned with your ability to attack them after arriving. Widow. Doubles her shots. And slow effective electroplasma explosion, ultimate ability on enemies from 80 to 55. Dude, when you're sitting that shit, you're slow as fuck. So, a nerf? But it has a 15% vulnerability now, so they take 15% more damage. Hawkeye. So, Hawkeye fell out of meta. I don't know what they're going to do with Black Widow, by the way. Black Widow's in a really weird spot, because if she just one-taps everyone, she's going to become dominant like Widowmaker is in Overwatch, which is why she isn't really dominant. Because you can't just instantly kill people unless they're already low, or just missing HP. And that's kind of the state of... It'd be different if she actually had, like, a... I mean, if she's a projectile hero, she'd just be Hawkeye, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you deal with snipers. Actually, I take the bet you could 100% deal with snipers, for instance, if you made it so they had to set up more. So they're more of a threat and more limited as far as what they're capable of doing once they're set up, so you get in near them and they're basically fucked, right? You could do something like that. She has setup time, but once she's set up, she has an angle of attack, and you can get outside the angle of attack, and she has to tear down and set up again like a sniper would, which would make her very vulnerable to dive, but then allow her to one-tap people. Game balance, guys. Video game development, there's all different sorts of ways of tackling problems. This, in general, I don't think is going to really do anything to her. This isn't really a problem. The best use case for her right now is literally running around and using like McCree from Overwatch, where you just sit there and you use her maybe that's what they're trying to do. Use your sniper rifle like a pistol. That's just hilarious, but true. You have to be within a certain distance to use it, so. And get the same damage. Let's see. Buff to Hawkeye, he fell out of favor after last patch, because he got a damage nerf at range. Increases HP, reduce projectile blast arrow from 20 to 15, while spell field damage will be increased from 25 to 32. Okay. Reduce the cooldown of time, Crescent Slash, from 15 to 12 seconds. That's upward hit. I thought that was the deflect. Deflect, I think you could just use whenever it's melee. Yeah. Allows them to kind of do what Widow does to protect herself, but not really, because Widow can stun you for like a prolonged period of time. Increase bow draw speed during the duration of Hunter's Sight ultimate ability, and raises damage multiplier from 1.2 to 1.35, so he can do more damage in his ult. Basically, when he ults, because of the way his ult works, where he can just do consistent damage to people, I always just dive him and try to kill him, because otherwise he just kills you, so... Hela, damage fall off. Hela's still very, very strong, despite the fact she's not utilized a lot, especially in quick play. Damage fall off from Night Sword Thorn at 30 meters will be changed from 70 to 80%. Is this her explosives? Explosives. That's just her normal left click? She's having more damage reduction now. So they're further nerfing her on her basic melee attack. Her best part of her kit is literally her melee. Or excuse me, her mouse 1. And that's what they're nerfing. Damage fall off again. Iron Fist is getting a rework. We saw this already, or I guess I didn't show you guys in the leaked patch notes. Not a real big rework, or excuse me, not an actual rework, but a pretty thorough retooling of his character, refresh, let's go with that. Reduces the damage of Jet Li and Kun's first, second, and fifth strikes from 32 to 30, while the third and fourth strikes will deal 15 damage instead of 16. Final devastating sixth strike has been dialed back from 55 to 50. The cooldown reduction from Dragon's defense has been extended from 1.5 to from 1 second to 1.5. Damage from each hit from Kun will take a hit, dropping from 19 to 10 flat damage. However, each strike from Jet Li Kun will now deliver an extra blow, dealing damage equal to 1.7% of the opponent's maximum health. So now he can tank bust-ish. He does attack pretty fast, so that could actually add up to a lot against tanks. That's like fucking annoying. Dude, that's gonna fucking make him annoying as shit against tanks. Because he's relatively difficult to hit in the first place if you can't kind of create distance, and tanks really can't create distance for the most part. Especially because a lot of them are melee. These are going to be fucking extra annoying against tanks. One other thing I said before is there's actually a lot of room for niche classes, guys, in this game. And tank busters, I don't think should just be limited to Wolverine. I actually didn't know originally that the Red Witch even did tank busting damage. I don't think a lot of people did before she got nerfed like that. Part of her kick got nerfed and turned her more into a consistent assassin. Weirdly enough. But I do think there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space for different characters in the game. And they're making him more of a tank buster, which is going to be fucking hilarious. He's literally going to be like a roach just stuck to the side of people. Like, the tanks are literally going to be like, get this guy away from me. That's fucking hilarious. This is actually fucking hilarious as shit. Increases additional maximum health granted by Harmony Recovery from 50 to 150. A new especially because tanks, by the way, don't do a lot of damage, and as such, they're going to take a little bit to get rid of him, which actually just gives him more power because he has sustain through his, it's just Dragon Defense, which also basically they buffed, right? Which is where he deflects for a little bit. Yeah, that's where you go bing, 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 like that, and then he does more damage. And after it, you go into the super mode. Yat Ji Chun Kun. Which is the flurry of attacks. Which actually is what does a lot of his damage. So his normal mouse 1 now actually reduces the cooldown on it much faster. Basically 33% faster. Actually 50% faster. Which is pretty substantial considering basically he's immune to damage when it's happening. Increases additional maximum health granted by Harmony Recovery, which is what people use before going to battle, into 150, which is insane. A new decay mechanism for extra health has also been introduced. 1 second after the ability ends, the additional health will deplete at a rate of 25 health per second. So they want people to use it more before they go in, which is the way he's being played right now, which is you always just kind of use it before you engage, right? So they're actually playing off that, which is good. Increases maximum bonus health converted from damage block during Dragon's defense from 150 to 200. Dragon's defense block. Also, they just made it so it stacks faster. Stacks higher. So it's from 150 shields to 200 now. Increased base... Dude, this guy's gonna be annoying as fuck. This guy is absolutely... He's very difficult right now to get off your asshole in the first place, guys. Iron Fist is 100% going to be annoying as fuck. You might even see bans. You might even see bans in top MMR. Huh. Called it on Storm, by the way, and Storm 100% is banned in top MMR now. Basically every match. Although I don't think she should be. She's actually relatively easy to kill. She doesn't really move that fast. Putting aside the ones that cheat that seemingly can toggle both electric mode and speed mode. We've seen a couple of those at the same time. Speed mode's different, but then you lose the extra damage in the AoE. This is interesting. So he's 100. You might actually... I'm actually going to say, guys, that Iron Fist is going to get banned in top MR. Yeah, he's going to be one of the top ban picks, I'm pretty sure. He's going to be so fucking... He's going to... Yeah, Wolverine's going to drop out in favor of Iron Fist for bans. People would probably rather deal with Wolverine than they would deal with Iron Fist. This is literally going to be like a gnat. Very fucking annoying. He's already pretty annoying if he's played well. But he doesn't really... You can still usually kill him pretty easily, so... And this actually makes up for all of that. Base health increase. Defensive block increase. Cooldown reduction on his defensive block. Percent base shred, which he attacks pretty fast to begin with. And he also can engage and basically recover and engage with a bigger shield. But he loses his entire shield in, what would that be, 6 seconds? More than enough, because you generally just do it around the corner, then you engage. That's actually, yeah, this is kind of... I'm pretty sure Iron Fist is going to drop out of ban pool in favor... Iron Fist is going to go into the ban pool, with Wolverine dropping out of the ban pool. But, based on what we're seeing here, and hypothetically speaking, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Iron Fist bans over Wolverine bans. That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, so you might... We'll have to wait and see, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get banned. And we'll see basically bans start to form about within a week after the patch drops. And a top MMR would be a couple days after patch drops. Pretty sure Iron Fist is going to get banned now. Crazy. Iron Man. As we talked about before, by the way, Iron Fist right now is completely out of the pool for most people, and he doesn't even get played, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. We'll have to wait and see, though. Iron Man, as I mentioned before, I love fucking playing Iron Man. However, he is too immobile, and his left clicks basically lack potency, so how he basically is a character that you end up going right... He's an assassin where you get up next to people and you right-click them, and that's it. That's his entire gimmick right now, is right-clicking. And I mentioned before, they need to... It's not really even need to increase his speed, but as opposed to increasing his reducing his animation lock, I want to call it, where he's stuck in between, like, modes, where he takes time to convert to his jet mode and takes time to convert to his basic mode, and I'd even trade, like, mobility, like that ability to functionally rotate through his modes faster than his gamma damage. His gamma damage obviously is basically his broken part of his kit, and relying too much on it gets him not only banned, but he doesn't even see play outside of it. So basically they buffed his right click. Unibeam him as a right click, and I don't agree with this at all. It looks like they kind of buffed it almost to gamma levels. No, I think gamma is 20%. And this looks like they added about 8. Like 15% in normal mode, and then like 8% in overdrive, which is his sicko mode, his power up mode. 10% in overdrive. I don't agree with this at all. I think that's kind of an annoying part of his kit, and him actually just being a right click Andy that has to just get up right next to people and right click is dumb. He has so much to his kit, guys, and he's such a cool character, but just making it so all he does is just try to zoom in and right-click people is stupid. He's not really an assassin in that regard. He's more backline like Storm or Punisher or something. I don't agree with this. I definitely think they need to do something with his left clicks, as well as definitely his animation lock, where he's cycling through modes, which gets him killed. It takes too long to do anything and react to stuff that happens around him. Unfortunate. Pretty cool character, though. Is this going to make him more powerful? Sure is. Is this necessary? And did they do the right thing here? No, I don't think so. Magic! let's see. Magic in general, I thought was already in a really decent place right now. Decrease the damage dealt by Demon's Rage from 80 to 72. And reduce the cost for ultimate 37 to 34. Demon's Rage is when she's in her ultimate. Is that correct? Demon. Good. You know what would actually be kind of cool is instead of giving her ultimate, like she currently has, they gave her basically an ultimate gauge in which she can choose to transform and untransform and basically use it ad hoc or basically use it on demand. Obviously with time to transform and untransform, which is vulnerable. And so they kind of already did that by reducing her another 10% damage reduction or 10% reduction to her ultimate cast. So she can use it more often. A lot of these characters are seeing ultimate cost reduction. So interesting. We'll see what happens here. I think this is the Demon's Rage. This is her demon, her little demon she pops out. Oh, they're called Demon Rage. 20 damage per hit. 0.25 per second, 100 damage per, or 80 damage per second. Yeah, this isn't really even a nerf. You have to stand in front of this shit for it to matter. So she just has essentially just a ult cost reduction. I think it'd actually be really cool, because her transformative state is actually just one of the cool parts of her character, right? Is if you give her a gauge instead, where she can pick and choose when she uses her her ultimate ability. More ad hoc or based on the fight or who she's fighting or what's going on. If she wants damage boost or not. And then basically save it. It actually added a lot more depth to the character. Mr. Fantastic, we played a shitload of Mr. Fantastic, so I was pretty convinced that people just didn't know how to play him, and because occasionally you'd see a good one. And after playing him quite a bit, I came to the realization that the only reason you occasionally see good Mr. Fantastics is when the entire enemy team just fucking ignores him. So, yeah. The biggest problem with Mr. Fantastic is the fact that he spends so much time, like, shuffling between his modes, that it legit just, it's just, not only that, there's, restrictions on when he can use his modes. It actually makes his character very, 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 cumbersome. We talked about him extensively when I was playing him. It's basically because you can't shift between, like, your block mode to your big guy mode, and the big guy mode automatically goes off when you reach too much, whatever it's called, his rage mechanic, elasticity. When you reach too much elasticity, you just use it instead of being able to use it when you want, and sometimes it just gets you stuck, and you don't want to use it because the enemies are nowhere near you. So you can't save it up, and then choose when you want to use it, and that matters a lot, right? And as such, you basically either have to not use your abilities or just deflate right away, which is what I tend to do. Because oftentimes you're not in a position to actually use the punching mode, his big mode. So you basically just deflate and you still keep the shield, right? The problem is you can't even transfer between the big mode to the flexible mode, or the block mode. So you have to go back through the normal mode, which then just gets you killed while this is all fucking going on. Other characters, like when they're vulnerable, like Magic, for instance, when she goes through a teleport gate, she's invulnerable. Star-Lord, when he's reloading, is invulnerable. Mr. Fantastic, despite going through all, like, juggling all these modes, is not invulnerable when that happens. and he just dies. So I also postulated, excuse me, someone's talking about me. I also postulated that when he goes through the modes, he should become invulnerable, because that's actually like a significant part of his time, is where he's just transferring between all these different states. But when he's doing it, he can't do anything. He's just stuck there with his dick in his hand, and he can't do anything. Which is very unfortunate, because that's a lot. Once again, that's a lot of his time, is where he's shuffling between block, big mode, and just even his normal mode. He just ends up going back and forth between them, and like you can't actually deal with everything that's happening around you. Well, in addition to the fact he's a very spammy character in how his abilities work, and you just have a lot of time in which you are unable to do anything with the character. It's like, I'd say it's like 40% of the time, 30, no, not that high, 30% of the time, in which you just can't even do anything with the character, which is really stupid. And in addition to that, if you could actually just like bounce up and down like a bouncy ball, that'd actually just be really cool and in line with this character. Yeah, I covered that. I even posted on Twitter as far as what you could do, but it's probably not what's going to happen here. Also, you also just die in his ult too. Like his ult, I don't even think gives you a shield. You just, or maybe it does give you a shield. Whose doesn't give you a shield? Just fall over. They're fantastic. Where you turn into the bouncy ball, you just die. Even you get bigger. You get infinitely bigger. And you bounce around and you're really easy to shoot while you're doing it. And you just die. I've died in my ult multiple times at Mr. Fantastic, which probably shouldn't be the case. You become more vulnerable when you're doing the thing that should actually make you powerful, right? And he's not really that good when he's doing it. Let's see. Increase the spell for everybody after landing. Flexible elongation, that's his wiggly arms. And where he's trying to snap people together from 2.5 to 5 meters. Additionally, flexible elongation will now feature knockback effect, launching enemies outward from the area upon landing. Oh, no. This is... I think that's his Bonga Bonga, where he adds a shield to people. Check. Yeah, that's his Bonga Bonga. So now it has a bigger AoE when you hit people with it. Basically, in a huge part, another part where he's just going through states, it's a huge part of his kit for survivability, by the way. Which you also can't use. It's another problem, you also can't use that shit. You can't use your super long arms, your wiggly arms, in addition to being unable to use your Bonga Bonga, your shield ability, when you're in the big mode that just gets triggered. So basically it makes you worse, which is ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. He has a lot of quality of life issues right now that really kind of ruined his character. Even like he doesn't even need damage or health buffs. He needs quality of life fixes to how his character fundamentally functions and transfers between states. Flexible elongation on that. So now he knocks back people after he hits them. And they increase the time for it, which is kind of a shame because one of the biggest benefits of using the Bonga Bonga is the shield from it. It's a survivability thing. So you just got a survivability nerf in favor of a knockback and AoE damage. I think this is not a positive trade-off. This is a nerf. He actually just got nerfed here. When you're using the Bonga Bongas, this is actually really, really important for staying alive. And that's basically the giant shield that it fucking gives you. Was it like 100? It's a lot. 50? What's the Bonga Bonga shield? 75. Yeah, it's quite a bit. And being able to just pop out those charges is very, very important for staying alive. And it's like a 15% increase to his Bonga Bonga in exchange for a little bit of CC. That's totally not worth it. Yeah, it's like a 25% nerf, 20% nerf. 25% nerf to his Bonga Bonga in terms of his shield uptime, or the extra shields he gets. This is actually a pretty big nerf to his survivability. Increases the damage from Brainiac bounce from a spell from 50 to 70. Increase energy cost from 2800 to 3400. I don't think so. He's going to be more likely to kill people with his bouncy bounce. So changed it from 50 to 70, which honestly still is not going to be a big deal for most people. And it has now a decay from the center, which also is a nerf. Mr. Fantastic legit just got nerfed. Like, you can't make this shit up. I'm pretty sure he just got nerfed. I believe he gets 4 bounces. He gets 6 bounces. Minimum 3. No, maybe it's... you have to keep hitting enemies to get 6 bounces. So, you can hit 6. Yeah, I think he actually just got nerfed, guys. This is, at best, a flat trade, and at worst, this is probably a nerf. His survivability, which he already has problems with, got nerfed. And his ult possibly got side graded or nerfed. Which, even though he's doing more damage per bounce, he has damage fall off. And they increased the cost by, what is that, 25%? No. 15? 180, that's like 15%, right? 280, 390. Yeah. 20% nerf. I don't think that's worth it, guys. I'm pretty sure... I think at best, with Mr. Fantastic, this is a side grade, and at worst, he just got pretty hard nerfed. I think it's just straight up worse because he loses quite a bit of survivability here at 25% for his shielding now. Basically, the thing you just always spam is when you have this up. Because it helps your allies and also basically helps you. That's something, guys. So, not only did he not get what he needed, they also kind of maybe nerfed him. It almost seems like they don't really understand the character. That's rough. Hand of Khonshu, so Moon Knight's ult. Reduce the Hand of Khonshu Talon's falling speed. So they take longer to hit the ground, so it gives people a chance to maybe survive. Correct the damage trigger logic for Hand of Khonshu. The previous mechanism dealt 75 damage when positioned at the center of the spell has been removed. Increase the damage from each hit from 75 to 150. So people were freaking out. This is kind of a fuck you, by the way, to people that were freaking out about this because they thought the developers didn't know what they're doing. So people were freaking out because it did damage twice. So they thought all of a sudden that it was wrong, when in fact the developers probably aren't balancing based on the wiki. People just found basically a nuance between the website and between what happens in game, and then thought that the character wasn't balanced. So all they did was just make it so it doesn't do damage twice, but it does double the damage. So, yeah. Yeah, so... And there's a slight nerf to fall speed, which probably... Well, I don't know if it's a slight nerf, because it doesn't say. So, you basically didn't change anything. That was basically... This is a programming fuck you to the people that thought that the damage he deals is wrong, which is memeing. It was like trending for a bit on streams and on social media. Because someone found a nuance between the wiki and the in-game. This actually might do more damage too, by the way. This might actually even be a buff, and the reason for this being is the center is different from the cone, or how it basically does damage over distance. And as such, you might be more likely to take higher amounts of damage when you're not in the center, as opposed to, which is going to be more majority of the times, as opposed to when you took more damage from the center. So this might even be a buff to his ult. Obviously the fall speed is reduced, so maybe you have more chance to get out of it. But at the same time, this is going to be more likely to consistently do damage to people because it's not based on the center cone doing the most damage. It still does, but there's the damage will fall off over the entire distance of the claw, right? That's fucking hilarious. That's a programmer. Fuck you. We actually know what we're doing. That's funny. Wanda gain additional 100 bonus health upon activating reality erasure. So Wanda is very in a weird spot. Also, by the way, I don't think Moon Knight needs nerfs, which is why he never gets banned. He just doesn't need nerfs. He's already in a decent spot. He's a very spammy character, but he's also very vulnerable when you get up next to him. Wanda has her ult is basically one of the most useless ults in the game, mainly because you almost always will die when using it, and at the same time, it's all or nothing. You either kill people or they kill you, and they'll almost always kill you at higher MMR. That is. And there's some people that think it needs a nerf, but they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's difficult to balance because it's just something that kills you. You can make it so it goes off faster, and there's all sorts of ways to buff it. But in doing so, it is almost like a switch in which people just die. And that makes it much more difficult to deal with. It's very difficult to deal with insta-kill abilities and buff them. So they added bonus health upon activating erasure, so she's more likely to survive or get it off. If the ability ends or is interrupted, the bonus health will decay at 50 a second, so she loses it. After 2 seconds, which is kind of what they're doing with a lot of characters to help them survive, is giving them a shield when they turn on their ult, right? I don't really see a problem with. I actually would have liked to see her get its CC immunity when she's doing it, because that's the biggest problem is when people interrupt her. They're going to still kill her, but the interruptions, especially at high MMR, I guess it's a skill thing, right? Where you can land a skill shot on someone. It's not really hard to do, though, because she moves so slow while she's doing it. So less likely to die, but she's still probably going to die. I don't think that's going to fix anything. And she's still going to have a lot of problems with CC. I think she needed CC immunity. Spooderman, as I mentioned before, Spooderman probably doesn't need buffs. I actually think he's in the category for nerfs, and the reason for that being is he literally can dive in and then run away. He can dive in and run away, and before he can even usually do anything. And if he fails at his assassination, he doesn't really lose anything for it, right? But they changed it, so they buffed him slightly. So now he has more resources as his web launchers, which is all of his abilities are based off of it. Yeah, so he's going to have more chances to actually assassinate people. I don't think he needed buffs, but some people obviously think that he does, so. Kind of an all or nothing. A lot of diver that way, but in the case of Spider-Man, when he fails, he can just run away. He's not a consistent damage dealer. Where Psylocke, you have basically 2 charges to utilize and your cloak, and that's it. And the charges take forever to recharge. I don't think he needed buffs. One must have had someone's ear on that one. So Star-Lord's getting an upgrade. I don't think he needed an upgrade. He's going to be able to fly longer. Rocket propulsion is his boots that he uses to fly around. They can fly around more. Quite a bit more, actually. This is a 50% buff to his boots. Alright, Storm probably getting nerfs, yeah. Damage fall-off of Windblade at 30 meters will be changed from 70 to 60%, so damage fall-off is going down. This is good because Storm's getting like banned every match. It's not really even something where they completely overbuffed her. The thing that Storm really had a problem with, guys, the thing that she had the problem with was her basically projectile speed. It took too long to connect projectiles, and as such, she oftentimes got fucked by it. Then people just moved too fast. And they changed that, and they buffed a lot of things on her character. Let's see. So, her weather control, her ability to basically increase her damage has dropped from 16 to 12. By the way, it's not just, this is her lightning mode, but her lightning mode wasn't even about the damage increase, it was about the fact that she spams AoE lightning bolts. Pretty crazy. But they reduced the damage on that. This is going to make her incrementally less likely to be in-game, but she's still going to be there. As far as getting banned, she's probably still going to see bans. Use Storm's damage increase from thunder during weather control from 16 to 12. However, damage increase for allies within range has been increased from 8 to 10%. So she still buffs allies and people are just going to sit in the mode. I definitely think they should incentivize switching between modes as opposed to just sitting in the damage mode. They reduced her power-up damage from 30 to 25. That's getting there in terms of damage reduction. In addition to 16 to 12. People are still going to sit in the damage mode almost the entire time. So this is a start, but she's probably still going to see bans. I still think Iron Fist is going to get banned, by the way, over Wolverine. If people have to pick and choose, they're probably going to pick Iron Fist. So Iron Fist is actually, or excuse me, Wolverine's in a really weird spot, guys, because people think that he's really OP, and I disagree with that. Wolverine is OP when people leave him alone to just basically just shit on tanks and just like sit around. The weird thing is like people treat him like a tank in terms of how tanky he is, probably because of his passive shield. When in fact he's basically just a DPS with a really, really long cooldown passive shield. And once you pop the passive shield, he's basically fucked for like a minute and a half. It's a really long time. And you keep him out of combat or you keep him suppressed, he can't do shit, and actively is just a waste of a character slot. The thing is, people won't actually attack him. Like, if you see your tank getting abducted, you should immediately attack whoever the Wolverine is. And heal the person getting pulled, right? Which is why I always spam X, I need healing the moment that I get abducted, because the teammate should be paying attention to that. Weirdly enough, with Wolverine, a lot of people don't, and they just let it happen, and then they think he's OP as shit and try to ban him. I think it's some sort of rhetoric with big streamers because they're playing him. Weirdly enough, it happens a lot. That being said, people also don't shoot the penny nest, they don't shoot the fucking squid turrets, they don't shoot onks, despite the characters going, hey look, it's an onk, man! It's like Navi going, Navi in Zelda, hey bro, look up! It's like, hey dude, there's an onk here, and no one shoots the goddamn thing. Which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me. But there's a lot of weird, like, it must be like the lethal dose of Adderall everyone's on or something. There's a lot of people that legit don't do the things they're supposed to. Which is pretty crazy, to be perfectly honest. However, in the case of Wolverine, I think a lot of it's just literally people not paying attention to, like, kind of a priority event that's happening. Like Adam rezzing his cookie jar, right? When Adam says... his voice line. Well, anyways, when Adam says, over here, cookies, everyone runs over and kills everything, right? Yeah. And I was like, hey guys, you want some cookies? They're over here. Wolverine's kind of the same way. You're supposed to pay attention to him when he's either diving or running away, and people don't, or he's just sitting in the middle of, like, he should be a priority target if he's just in the middle of your tanks, and no one does that. I don't know why. Once again, I think it's because they learned from big streamers, and they just chose not to learn from them or something, or big streamers aren't doing it. But if people actually prioritized Wolverine the way that they should be, he'd just die right away. But he doesn't. He just gets to soak in the tanks, and that's kind of weird. But that's the way things are currently working. So once again, I think Iron Fist is going to get banned more. Iron Fist has a lot more survivability, and a lot more escapes, and at the same time, he also does a damage. He does a percent based now. Yeah, he's going to be pretty. I'm pretty sure he's going to get banned. Let's see, Adam. Adam already does pretty decent damage if he lands his shots. Increases damage quantum magic from 55 to 60. Additionally, damage fall off at 40 meters will be changed from 50 to 60. So more of a threat. Increases healing amount provided by Soul Bond linked to allies from 10 to 15 a second. Soul Bond basically already is where you just don't even attack people that are Soul Bonded until it wears off because it's pointless. So buff to his BAP lamp-ish thing, as well as being more damage dealing. Token Dagger. Increased energy cost of ultimate, that's good. There's the defensive ults are really the big ones right now, guys. they're the big deal. And Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, and Luna are all in that boat. Mantis isn't even that bad because it doesn't last so long. Here's the energy cost of Eternal Bond from 34 to 4,000. Was it a 15%? Yeah, that's like 15% or so. Healing amount of each segment will increase from 2,200 to 250. The duration will be reduced from 10 to 8 seconds, and the pause between segments decreased from 1 to 0.67, which is her vulnerable time where Magneto pops her in the face. Now the healing effect from each segment will not stack when overlapping. Only one healing effect is applied. So I didn't even know this, by the way. I didn't even know you could overlap the heal on her healing segments. I didn't even know that's a thing, guys. It is. I didn't even know this is a fucking thing, but it is. You could actually stack her healing, like, landing strips. You could stack her landing strips on top of each other and do insane amounts of healing. I didn't even know that's a thing. Which is, yeah. That's pretty crazy. So they buffed her healing a little bit, but it's not going to make up for the fact that you can't stack them anymore. So a little bit of survivability upgrade, so she's less likely to get sniped. But at the same time, also made it so it doesn't stack, which is a huge nerf to her. And of course, there's also damage activation nerf, or excuse me, resource cost increase, which is a big deal. Terror Cape, which I believe is her window that she throws at you, increased from 20 to 28%. That's a pretty big deal. So shoot the purple targets. Invisible Woman, increased energy cost for ultimate by about 8%. Invisible Woman's ult is pretty strong as well. Loki, increased energy cost of God of Mischief. Ultimate ability from 3,000 to 4,000. This is a 15% increase once again because he just clones defensive ults and does the same thing. Mystical Missile charges from 10 to 12. That just is torpedoes. Yeah. Yeah. And his clone can do the same thing he does. So he has more mystical missiles now, which is healing and damage. I've only seen a damage Loki. I think yesterday we had one guy that was like insta-killing me, which I'm pretty sure was cheating. But other than that, it's not really... He's not super OP on damage. So once again, increased his ult. Lots of defensive... the healing ults are getting nerfed. Increased activation cost, Fate of Both Worlds ultimate from 4 to 5,000. That is about 10% once again. That's a little more than that, 12%. Alright, team up abilities. Definitely buffing. This is more likely to see Iron Fist. Once again, he's just going to get banned. Frozen Chi from 50 to 75. Slow effect on enemies from 20 to 30%. It's a pretty big deal. Knockback on enemies. And slows them, which means she can clap them to death. Rewind, so this is going to affect Psylocke, Black Panther. Sustained combat capabilities of Black Panther and Psylocke, increasing them. Reduce rewind time between psionic discs from 5 to 3 seconds. I personally like 5 seconds because it means you're less likely to pop out where the enemies will think you are. Version ratio loss on health, blue armor will be increased from 0.5 to 0.8. That's the shield you get. Reduce the rewind time for Wakanda Master from 5 to 3 seconds. Yeah, so they're increasing the amount of armor you get back, but changing the duration of it. I wish they left this the same. This makes it harder to predict where the person's going to pop out. So it's 3 seconds of time now instead of 5. I would have actually rather had 5 seconds as opposed to the changing the ratio. Even though you get more health out of it or shield out of it. I prefer the distance that you travel in the extra 2 seconds. So I would say this is a side grade. Gamma Charge. So they once again changed his right click on Iron Man. And they changed it so his right click now normally does 190 when powered up. I think. And they're changing it to 200, so it only gives you an extra 10 a second. As opposed to 180 to 220, which is an extra 40 damage a second, which is pretty insane. Reduce the health that Hulk gets. The reason Hulk got banned is because it stops Iron Man. It just basically bans 2 players when Hulk gets banned. They didn't need to change his health pool from this. And I don't think Hulk was in an OP state to begin with. Once again, I do think that this should just be changed in general. Instead of just giving him generic damage ability, instead give him something maybe like a flight mode or something that you can turn into an airplane or something. I don't know. Give it so you can jet around faster or something. There's all sorts of cool shit you can do. But just a generic right click, which once again, I think the biggest problem with Iron Man isn't even his right click damage, putting aside him getting banned. It's literally his left clicks and transitional states where he gets animation locked, much like Mr. Fantastic. So Moon Knight's team up is actually pretty strong. I played a shitload of Moon Knight, which he basically hides in it, and it's actually a big deal because it stops people from directly targeting you. It's a huge deal, even though you can. It just takes a lot longer to do it. Now it has a heal on top of it, 25 second, which is insane. That's actually ridiculously good. Let's see, Symbiote Bond. They changed basically the time that they're stuck in Symbiote Bond to 1 second instead of 4, because he sits in it for a long time. 50% damage reduction. It's now invulnerability, so you just don't even take damage. Pennies is changed from 4 to 2. Just invulnerable once again. Alright. Some vulnerability. Alright, Iron Man obviously got the biggest breadth of buffs here, guys. Which is going to see him probably get banned, to be perfectly honest, top MMR. He's just going to get banned. He's going to be a tank for slight buffs to a lot of characters here. Iron Fist is going to get banned. Nerfs to defensive ults, which is very important because right now it's just literally just spamming defensive ults, which is insane and boring as fuck. Hella got a slight nerf. She's still going to get played a lot. Well, probably going to get played a lot. For some reason, she doesn't get played even though she's still good, which probably has a lot to do with just people being bored of her. Hawkeye got slight buffs to survivability. Iron Man, they changed around his gamma. Hulk is probably still... Actually, I don't know. I don't think they addressed the problems with his kit, and just basically buffed the boringness part of his kit, which is just holding right-click constantly. Just flying in and holding right-click is stupid. We might just see Iron Man bans instead of Hulk bans, by the way. Which is possibly the case. I don't know. Iron Man bans in general just kind of always been weird. Because, once again, in Psylocke, I can usually just kill her. Just straight up. Or kill him, excuse me. Mr. Fantastic didn't address his problems with changing between states. He's a pretty complicated hero, and they didn't really address it at all. Moon Knight was a fuck you to Reddit detectives that think they saw a problem with his kit when it wasn't actually a problem with his kit because they already took it into account. And he might do slightly more damage now because there's going to be more consistent damage drop-off across his claws instead of just being in the center. Even though it's a longer fall speed. Scarlet Witch, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Storm might be less likely to get banned, but probably still going to get banned. And basically, defensive ults. Defensive ult nerfing is probably the biggest part of this patch, in addition to Iron Man getting buffed, which is probably also going to be, he's probably going to get banned, to be perfectly honest. In favor of Wolverine not being banned. Captain America got a slight buff, too. I don't think this is going to change the innately how his character is played or how often he's picked. Being able to use your shield when you're jumping through the air is important, though. Let's see. I don't know exactly how his combat thing is with melee attacks is going to work. We'll have to wait and see on that. This is going to be one of those things where you have to play around with it in game. Biggest changes, once again, is Iron Fist, who's now going to get banned. Storm might not get banned as much in defensive ults, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, there's a decent chunk of quality of life and just changes in general to characters. And I think with Magic, if they just made it so she has a gauge that she can use on demand, and obviously with transformation, both in and out of it, and this using it on demand actually be pretty cool for a character, so she can pick and choose when she uses her ult more fluidly. Alright, okay. Done and done, guys. Let's see. Let's make a YouTube video now. Let's make a YouTube video now. Doopa-doopa-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, dooba-dooba-doo-doo-doo, doop-doop. Okay. I'm going to use your bathroom real quick here, guys, and give this time to... give this time to catch up on stream. One second. Be right back. Righty, guys. That's about accurate right there. I'm that.
Survivability. Rivals.
Girls, please. Maybe we'll get what do we got here? We got here, guys. Let's see. So she can pick and choose when she uses. All right. Okay. Done and done, guys. Done. Marvel Rivals 1.5. On. .5 patch, healing alt nerfs, Iron Man getting banned. Nation. They got a great nod to the Reddit detectives thinking they found. Hilarious. Done and done, guys. Processing. Making content. I do, guys. Bam! Fire it off. Now we gotta wait a little bit for it to show up on YouTube. Doop-a-doo-doo. Doop-a-doo-doo. Doop-doo-doo. What do we got going on here? Interesting how, by the way, the Doge committee is actually sounding like they, with canceling a lot of government programs, they're actually considering sending rebate checks out to people, which is actually pretty ridiculous, by the way. It's actually a really good idea to get people on their side, as opposed to just going back into the infinite money reserves that people don't have any association with. Whether or not this paying people off remains to be seen. There we go. Begin preview overall, I'd say, I don't know why it keeps setting all these weird characters whenever I use an apostrophe, but it does. Pretty Unicode problem. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Recorded February. February 18. Not Helldivers 2. We have Marvel Rivals. Rivals. Rivals gameplay. Okay. Almost done, guys. So close. We're almost there, guys. Just hold. Just hold, guys. Dooba-dooba-doo-doo. We didn't actually do Season 1 patch notes, did we? And that's particularly because there's almost no changes in it that were actually... Well, no, we talked about it a little bit. Basically, the storm. Is that Season 1, or was it before Season 1? Worth actually making a video over. Finally getting some more meaningful changes, though. Done and done, guys. Make it public. Watch the shit version until it actually goes through. Doesn't matter. Alright. Got it, guys. Let's see. Before we get back in game here, I'm just going to restart. Oh my god, Nathan! Cheaper town hall. I need a town hall? What? Do you need a town hall? Town hall for what game? Alrighty. Let's see. Exactly the kind of sound your computer makes. Oh. Oh. There we go. Uh-huh. Play the next new characters next 2 days. You mean the patch, I think, is still 2 days out. Maybe. I haven't really read a whole lot about them, so I know the abilities leaked and such. I don't really care. If I can't play it, it doesn't really matter much. More of a doing rather than reading type of guy. So you can get a feel for the breadth of what's going on, you know.
You'll need a
Oh, do you like reading?
team to win this one.
My audach is sharp. My mind is sharper.
Reading about them's like getting excited prior to actually being able to play the character. Do 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 do, boop a do, doop a do do, do 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 do.
I will not rest until I return to my world once more. Greetings.
Greetings.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Warlock, old buddy. Yeah, you look good. Did you get some work done?
I recently emerged from a regenerative cocoon.
Ah,
Got to hook me up with one of those, bro.
like a salon day.
Serious tune-up.
Perhaps I should focus my cosmic power on
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Vacuum cleaner.
Sayona. That's quite the weapon.
How are you alive? Like instantly responded with his entire team to what I was doing.
Magic. Lovely.
You're mine.
That's better.
Chin on.
Sayona.
I'm all right. Hey. Good.
Out of sight.
Your powers are mine!
Disappear!
Judge, jury, executioner!
You're mine. You're halfway there. Keep going. Take it up.
Eventually happens. Insta-lock and Human Torch could be fun. I mean, Mr. Fantastic wasn't all that amazing. I still don't think, like, with the patch notes, they definitely didn't fix him.
There. Don't turn
He has a lot of problems getting stuck in animation and juggling between his animations that just never was ironed out. It's like a beta character.
Maximum pulse!
The vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
I've taken a tiny rolling speed.
Defense vault. Alright, Hulk.
Born again!
By the way, open cookie jar? I believe is what he just said.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Farewell.
Wait. Their whole team's over here? Alright.
Almost there. Turn that now.
I just didn't do the right amount of damage to him, by the way.
Farewell.
Anyone can do this? It's you, Herbie. Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Definitely not doing the right amount of damage right now. Well, I said I was going to restart my stream, didn't I? I just never did.
Anyone willing to help?
Definitely not doing the right amount of damage. We're back to being a potato, guys.
Reborn.
I almost died in warm-up just now, by the way.
Out of sight.
Shields up.
Your powers are mine!
I'm ready to put on a show.
Man. Alright.
Out of sight.
Excuse me, building. This is very rude. This is extremely rude, by the way. I don't know what gives you the... Okay.
I am wounded.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Oh, I almost died.
Sayonara.
Definitely not doing the right amount of damage.
You are not alone.
Reborn.
True story. Good job. Good job, Hulk. Right.
That's better.
He totally does not have an ult. Alright.
Second chances.
That's 3. Wow. Shields in a row. So close.
Wait, wide.
Big chance.
Alright, I guess we have an ult here.
Put on a show. That's amazing.
I require
By the
Totally not going to Agi. There he goes.
Behind you.
Step aside. Out of sight.
Oh. You died, guys.
My hunt continues.
quantum magic.
Sayonara.
Okay, I just got one tapped. He wasn't in shotgun anymore, was he? He just tried to shoot me through the... This guy's cheating. He literally just tried to fucking shoot me directly through the building while I was cloaked. Or not cloaked, while I was running around in there.
judge,
Eat?
jury, executioner!
I actually want to go out there.
Herbie is counting on us. We cannot afford a difference. Farewell.
Definitely not doing the right amount of damage at all.
I am ready to put on a show.
I didn't even know this fucking the landing strip stack, guys. They do. Crazy. And now we go.
By the eye of Agamotto!
So your story
Double kill. That's 3.
Sayonara.
Rise, my friends!
Yeah, so Doctor Strange is definitely cheating. Good morning, Junior.
Better.
Second chance is over.
A little help, please. Out of sight.
Guess she has ult again?
Reborn once more. You're mine.
Yeah?
This place is
That's what I said to your mom last night. Nice lady. Bakes great cookies, by the way.
Farewell.
Judge, jury,
Bro, I'm totally not doing the right amount of damage to the fucking Punisher here. Crazy. It wasn't even the fucking Punisher that killed me. This guy's definitely cheating, by the way.
Herbie is
I feel like hard locks to you when he most lends to.
Farewell.
Shields up! Us against the world!
Normally you don't see cheating tanks, but I guess.
by the eye of Agamotto.
This will do nicely.
Down to 30 seconds.
Dead.
You made a grave mistake. A shame this was your last stand.
I am ready to put on a show!
Dead. Please give me ult charge.
Seconds. You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. You're mine. Here comes the bad guy.
Your powers are mine.
Oh, tried to get healed, guys.
Good medicine.
And somehow
I have reawakened.
I don't actually know it off the top of my head. You're asking for very particular knowledge that I don't possess. People even play, despite him getting banned all the time, they don't really play him in quick play all that much. Despite him getting banned all the time in comp. Same thing with Storm.
can't expect to win them all.
So I did say that I wanted to try restarting my stream, which I can still do here, guys. Which we might do here. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Definitely some hit reg issues here. Okay. I'm going to try restarting my stream, guys. And for you guys, it shouldn't change anything. I will briefly be offline and back in like 10 seconds-ish. So. Be right back, guys.